What in the world, Bo? It's your boy Big Low Country. For everybody out there that don't know me, my name is Big Low Country. I'm just an old country boy, former football coach that loves to sit around and talk about sports. You yourself, yes, you could have been anywhere in the world tonight. You could have been watching the national championship game, but you're here with us, and we definitely and greatly appreciate it. First of all, if you're watching the show after we've gone live already, make sure you put a what in the world Bo in the comments. Also, make sure that you share the channel with your friends and family. We get together, we chop it up and talk like this all the time. Bo, we got a few things that we need to chop it up about. We got a few things that we need to talk about. We need to talk about it, Bo. I mean, the last time I talked to y'all, we were trying to figure out who the next defensive coordinator was going to be. My apologies. The last time that y'all seen me, I was on here on the NFC South Roundtable, and I was on here with the fellas, and we were, having a great time and laughing and joking like we normally do. But the last time that I had a chance to talk to y'all one on one, like we used to back in the day, well, I say back in the day, like we did last week, like we did last summer, like we did last year, we were talking about who was going to be the next defensive coordinator for Atlanta Falcons. Now, they made their decision. And as a coaching staff, y'all know we got to sit down and talk about it. Now, first of all, y'all know I got to show love to everybody that's showing love to me. We got Lisa Shepard in here. What's going on, Lisa? I'm pretty sure you'll come in here and let me know what the issue is. I'm pretty sure, if you see any issues with this hire, you'll let me know what issues you see. Trucker Mike's in here. What in the world, Bo? What's going on with you, man? Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. Trucker Mike, what in the world, Bo? Prove It says Coach Lowe is all bad immediately. Daggone. Prove It came in and said, everything that we've been doing is all bad. He said it, I didn't. Ooh. That's what he said. I ain't say it. Oh, man. Blue Jacket says Big Low sounds like Killer Mike. Okay. Polo to the flow, though. You already know, though. I mean, if I sound like him, hopefully I can get a couple. I might need to start getting back in the booth. You can still catch me and Roni in a four-door Lexus. It's only low, baby. No more extras. And she said she about to buy me a four-door Tesla just because she impressed with my solo efforts. I show no care for those who left us. Bump those fellas are so rebellious. I hold no remorse. When I see you, hold your thoughts, so we gonna hold court. And I know you want to hold court. Shouts out to Weezy, baby. Much love to you, Bo. Shouts out to everybody that's coming on and chopping up with us tonight, Bo. We finna we finna break this thing down. We got to talk about it. Like look, I'm seeing either people really like it or people really hate it. I'm seeing mixed signals. I'm getting mixed signals from this situation. So we're gonna see what we of course we got to see what the coaching staff is thinking. Yes, TT, I'm actually watching the national championship game while I'm talking to y'all. For some reason, watching really big games is more comforting to me while I'm actually talking to y'all. So I think this might be more for me. It might be more for me. Jeff Holton, what in the world, Bo? He says we're going to get any better. That's a hey. That's look. We're gonna see what they talk about. Justin Switcher says more cover 3 shell, Bo. MVM in here says yo, what's going on with you, Bo? Dr. Slicks in here. Rishi says rise up from Tampa. Can't wait to meet you next year at the Tampa game. Yes, we're gonna be out there. Whether you coming here or we going out there, we're gonna be out there. We're gonna have a great time with it, man. We're gonna have a great time with it. Shouts out to everybody's coming in here chilling with us tonight. Tony Wright, Prove It. Lisa says my favorite word, it's you. That's it, Lisa. It's you. Purple Haze his Big Low. A funny round table statement. We definitely will try to, man. We actually gonna be a little bit colder than everybody else because we're gonna be moving and shaking. When this cold weather comes in. So before we get started, first of all, I hope everybody had a great, safe, and happy Martin Luther King Day. Y'all remember what this day was for? Martin Luther King had a dream for equality, for everybody to have the same types of opportunities. So I hope everybody had a great Martin Luther King Day. I hope it was safe. I hope y'all had a time for some reflection And much love to everybody out there that's watching it. So, let's just go ahead and call it what it is, Bo. I don't know if y'all see Shaka Khan back there. She don't like the pick. Shaka Khan, you like to move? Come here. Tell the coaching staff what's up. Tell them, say, what in the world, Bo? All right. So the question is, do y'all like the move? Jeff Ulbrich to the Atlanta Falcons. If you do like the move, put a 1 in the chat. If you do not like the move, put a 3 or a 3 in the chat. Let's just go ahead and knock it on out the way. Shouts out to Jalen. Says also go Gators. You already know. I apologize for any Falcons fans that are Bulldog fans, but shouts out to Big Shady, baby. If you like the move, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't like it, put a 3 or a 3 in the chat. I just want to know what y'all thinking. Just want to know what y'all thinking because I'm getting mixed signals. I'm getting mixed signals. Some people really like it. Some people really hate it. And y'all know in true fashion, and I'm not going to spill the beans of whether or not I hate it or love it yet, but in true fashion, if it is a situation where, most of us don't like it, we kind of got to talk each other off the ledge, right? We have to, come together in a collective way, and we got to find a silver lining in the situation. No, that's part of what the coaching staff does. We got to find we got to find something to look forward to defensively for the 2025 season. All right, so let's see what everybody's thinking. Jerry G's in here. What's going on, Jerry G? Much love to you, Bo. Alfonso, what's going on, Fonzo? Much love to you, Bo. Fonzo hit me up on Instagram. Much love, Bo. Jeff Holton says, Big Low, love the show, but no. Okay, all right, okay. I hear you. Blue Jacket says, we need reflection on this day after the BS. Let's see. Low C says he put 333 threes in here. He says pineapples. He don't like it. Michael W. He says 3. Corey Carter says this DC hiring process was a dog and pony show from the beginning. They should have just hired Ubrich to begin with. Daggum. Okay, all right. Daggum. Tay-Bro says, what in the world, Bo? What's going on, Tay-Bro? T. Terry's in here says 3 all day. 3 yeet all day. Nobody gave me a 3 yeet yet. I ain't got a 3 yeet yet. Nobody. I guess the song ain't popular no more. So I'll represent for Sexy Red, the coach run. 3 yeet if you see me and you want to see what's up. 3 yeet. Shouts out to Coach Ronnie, the great 3 yeet nation. Corey Carter's in there. Oh, heck nah. Go Dogs. I'm sorry, man. My little cousin plays for the Florida Gators now. So I gotta, you gotta use the right hand on the top, the chop. I'm sorry. It's, at the end of the day, Florida Gators, they just want to take care of my family a little bit better than Georgia did. I'm sorry. No, look, it's still love. It's this is where I came. This is where I came up at. It's still love. Ghost Peppers with the 3 yeet. Douglas Ferriton says 3. He says Raheem is done. Well, he been done. Daggum. Justice Switch says 1. We got to like her. We got to like her. Justice Switch says 1. Because it will cause Raheem and Terry to be fired next season. Goodness gracious. Purple Hayes says 1. He was defensive coach, not head coach. Jets were good before he went to head coach. Okay. Shouts out to my homeboy ATLGA Faithful. Much love to you, man. I miss seeing you on Sundays, bro. Y'all make sure y'all check out my homeboy ATLGA Faithful. Great content over there. Y'all check him out. He says, we in here to stop through. Don't really like it, but it could be worse, I guess. At least it is a chance for redemption. Redemption song. Shouts out to my homeboy DC, Bo. Much love to you, man. We also got my homeboy Let Us Pray in here. Let Us Pray, another Atlanta Falcons content creator. Y'all make sure that y'all check him out, Bo. Great content. Y'all go down there and check him out. Down there, Let Us Pray. He says, what in the world, Bo? He says, I'm on the fence. So he says 2. He says, I'm split, but it's another friend of the program situation. However, he does have actual DC coaching experience, and that's completely right. Like you got a point, and also DC, ATLGA faithful, he has a point as well. Because the fact of the matter is, dang, Ohio State done went up. This is gonna be a monkey. It's gonna be a curb stomping. Ohio State finna run over these boys. Um, I'm pretty sure my homeboy Dansky's on Twitter right now, getting fully naked. Shouts out to Dansky. But I mean, let us pray. You're definitely and I mean you're definitely right, Bo. Fact of the matter is, well, you know what? Let me just answer it. Let me just answer it myself. If it was a one or a three, in in the case of Big Low Country, somebody put me down for a three. Yeet. You know that's for record purposes. Initially, I don't like it. I don't like the move. You might say, why don't you like the move, Big Low? Reason is you hired Jimmy Lake. Jimmy Lake couldn't do the job. Jimmy Lake couldn't do the job. Fact of the matter is that he completely showed that he wasn't capable of doing the job on through week 18. Didn't he say, or Raheem Morris said that they're still they had miscommunications on week 18? How'd you have miscommunications on week 18? Everybody should pretty much know what they're supposed to be doing by then. I mean, that's not a player issue, in the words of Lisa Shepard. That's a coaching issue. Fact of the matter is that you brought in Jimmy Lake initially. Jimmy Lake was your homeboy. I completely understand that. There have been times whenever I brought my homeboy in situations where I shouldn't have brought him into. Thing is that I learned my lesson. I said, hey, I got to cover my own. I got a CYA. And if you know what CYA means, you know what CYA means. I have the CYA in this particular situations. Instead, you go back to Jeff Ulbrich, who was the DC whenever you were the interim head coach and you lost the job to begin with. Now, I'm not even talking about the X's and O's standpoint of it. I'm just talking about the optics of it, guys. I'm just talking about the straight optics of it. If everybody was calling for your head initially, and everybody says, hey, you went off and you hired your homeboys and it didn't work, and you act like you didn't want to go away from what your homeboys wanted to put in place, why would you turn around and hire your homeboy again, who was the DC before, and that didn't work before? Now, this is where this is where the coaches meeting comes into play, because Alfonso, he says, well, you have to have the pieces, coach, and I completely agree with you. Fact of the matter is that on that 2020 team, when Jeff Ubrich was promoted from linebacker to defensive coordinator, we didn't have the pieces. We had Jacob Tatui Mariner. We had Stephen Means. Who else did we have? I can't even remember who the defensive tackles were. Was Grady Jarrett hurt that season? I can't remember. You had the boy from the Raiders. What's the boy from the Raiders' name? Light skinned boy. I can't remember his name. Basically, that was a shadow period in Atlanta Falcons history for defensive players. You had the other safety from the Patriots that ended up going to the Bills. I mean, you didn't have that much talent. If you look at this 2024 team, and I mean, because we don't know what the 2025 team is going to be looking like in the future, you could legitimately say that this team is head and shoulders better than that team. I mean, we can legitimately say that. But fact of the matter is that just from the pure optics of it, whenever you got guys like a Steve Wilkes, a Wink Martindale, the secondary coach from the Pittsburgh Steelers, whenever you got all these guys out here who can legitimately give you a different point of view. They could give you a different way of looking at defense because, I mean, let's keep it a buck. The way that you've been looking at defense hasn't worked. I mean, I'm not just talking about with the Falcons, not the first or second time. I'm also talking about whenever you were running the show with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, your defense wasn't necessarily gangbusters out there. Let's keep it a buck. You have to be able to have an open mind. You got to have an open mind so people could peek in it. They could peek in it and say, hey, you know what, mate? Have you ever considered, on 3rd and 7 and shorter, you ever considered running a little bit of bump and run coverage, like pressing those guys in man coverage? And maybe, I mean, look, if you're set on dropping Matthew Judon back, maybe you could have Matthew Judon drop back in the hook zone behind that zone coverage. I'm sorry, behind that man coverage on that bumper run, just in case they do try to put it out there quick, try to run a quick slant or something. I mean, if we're just set on Matthew Judon dropping back in the coverage, we could actually put him in a good situation, because we want to play on our heels instead of we want to play on our toes instead of our heels. I mean, it could be one of those cases where you could bring in someone like a Wink Martindale that says, hey, I mean, we don't have to run cover 3 shell all the time. We don't have to run cover 3 shell all the time. I mean, it's kind of like it's kind of like going to New Orleans, or you go to you go down south down in the Gulf, and everybody wants to cook with Cajun seasoning. Sometimes it takes some people to come in and say, hey, you don't got to put Cajun seasoning in everything, bro. You don't got to put Cajun seasoning in your eggs. You don't got to put Cajun seasoning in your cornflakes. You don't got to put Cajun seasoning on your grilled cheese sandwich. Sometimes you can just put some salt and pepper on them eggs and you good to go. Just put a little bit of milk and a little bit of sugar in them cornflakes. You good to go. You don't got to put all that stuff in it. Like, you don't got to do the same thing every time, basically, is what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to have an outside opinion to, do things correctly, like to progress, to evolve. It's all about continuous improvement. And I feel like, I mean, and I'm not even, once again, I haven't even gone into the X's and O's of the situation yet. I feel like this move with Raheem Morris isn't giving him a chance to open his mind, to evolve, to have that continuous improvement. It feels like it's going to be, we're going to run cover 3 shell. We're going to drop, we're going to follow the guys in motion like we playing man coverage. But guess what we're going to? Cover 3 shell. That's what it feels like. That feels like those are the wrinkles. It feels like you're not going to be running man coverage, or you're not going to be doing too many green zone dog blitzes because you're still worried about your guys getting burnt over the top. Now, just like my homeboy Alfonso mentioned earlier, you didn't have the dogs. What have we been talking about all season, guys? Coaching staff, what we've been talking about all season? It's about the X's and O's, or is it about the Jimmys and Joes? It's about both. It's about the X's and Joes and the Jimmys and O's. Did I get that right? I tried to mix them up. Did that work? Y'all see what I'm saying? Y'all see what I'm saying? It basically is about both. It's about X's and O's, about Jimmys and Joes. That's the fact of the matter, guys. That's the fact of the matter. Ghost Pepper says, breaking news. Adam Schefter just reported that the Falcons fired Zach Robinson and rehired Dirk Cutter. Oh, man. Here we go again. All jokes aside, this move wouldn't be shocking at it. It would. It would. Do y'all know how many messages I've gotten on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, text messages? Y'all know how many messages I've got saying, hey, coach, so Takk McKinley should be walking through that door any day now. Do y'all know how many of those we've gotten? It's been crazy. It's legit been crazy. Fact of the matter is that if you keep going back to the well over and over and over again, and you're not getting the job done, it's the definition of insanity. look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I was legitimately flabbergasted when we took Raheem Morris. Legitimately flabbergasted for a couple of reasons, guys. Number one is because whenever I'm hearing that we're getting a new head coach, I want a new head coach. I want to change. I want to change the feel of the team. I want to change everything up. I want to have a new voice. I want those veterans like the Jake Matthews and the Grady Jarretts and the AJ Terrells. I want them to hear something new and have some faith that something different is going to happen, right? Opposed to a guy who was here before, and what do you keep hearing? Oh shoot, I mean back in 2016, this is what we did. And, man, 2016, we did this right here and it was successful. Man, this right here, this ain't nothing like 2016. 2016, boy, the whole city was on fire. Fact of the matter is, bro, 2016 was 9 years ago. Can y'all believe that? Can y'all believe 2016 was 9 years ago? You got to let that go. Because if I'm sitting here talking about 2016 and what I was doing in 2016, I'm talking about how I used to go to LA Fitness and give them young Thundercats the work in 2016. A lot of y'all might not know this. On Tuesday, I just turned a year older. Hit a milestone. Turned a year older. Shouts out to Big Low Country. Just turned a year older. Fact of the matter is that 2016, I was giving them young Thundercats to work. Things changed since 2016. Guess what I do on Sundays now in 2024 and 2025? Golf course. Golf course. Back in 1996, what was Michael Jordan doing? Just dunking on folks. What's Michael Jordan doing now? Golf course. Things aren't the same, Bo. 2016 was 10 years ago. That's the reason why I'm sitting here saying, hey, the Raheem Morris hire it wasn't my favorite pick. I didn't want to go backwards. I didn't want to, shouts out to my homeboy Brian out there in Texas. I didn't want to, bring that old thing back. I wasn't trying to bring that old thing back, Bo. That time has come and gone. I wanted a new voice. I wanted a new voice like the Houston Texans have. I want a new voice like the Detroit Lions have. I want a new voice. I want a new voice like the Washington Commanders, the Washington Commodores have. Meanwhile, it's like we going back with this old thing. Shouts out to you, John Higgins. We're going back to this old thing, and we too busy talking about what we did in 2016 and trying to recreate 2016. The league has changed because in 2016 there wasn't a young Thundercat around here called Patrick Mahomes. He wasn't around here. He wasn't around here. There wasn't a Josh Allen that was around here carving defenses and carving teams up. You didn't have Jaden Daniels. You didn't have Lamar Jackson. These guys weren't here. Things have changed. It ain't the same, Bo. Tyler Russell, what in the world, Bo? What's going on with you, fam? Hope you're doing good tonight. Much love to you and Coach Christine. Raheem Morris, Ghost Pepper said Raheem Morris quoted the Blues Brothers, says, we're on a mission from God. We're going to get the band back together. Crazy. The crazy thing is that he could have legitimately said that. That's the crazy thing. That's the crazy thing. Fact of the matter is that if you want something different, and this just isn't in football, this is in life. If you want something different, you got to do something different, Bo. Better say this one more time for the people in the back. If you want something different, you got to do something different. Because if you want to blow leads like you did in 2016, that's what we did. That's what we did this year. We blew, it wasn't in the Super Bowl, but we blew our chance to get to the Super Bowl with the 3-game lead. That felt like a 28-3 lead. There's no reason we should have lost that lead. We blew the lead. if you want to do that, if you want to continue doing that, bring the same people back that you've been, that you had that same type of success with. But if you want something different, you have to do something different. Now, you're not only going back with the same coach, the same assistant head coach that was on that team. Now you're going back and you're bringing back assistants and you're bringing back coordinators from that squad. I mean, what is that? What is that going to do for you? I mean, if anything, that's just opening things up for more jokes. I mean, if why would you put yourself in that situation as an organization? Let's keep it a buck. Why would you put yourself in that situation? Why would you say, hey, you know what? We're going to bring back a whole bunch of guys that were the 2016 team, and the first time we blow a 14-10 lead, and Tom Brady is doing commentary, he's going to be like, "Oh man, we've seen him blow leads like this before." That's kind of what you're opening up, right? That's kind of what you're opening up, right? You're opening that up. So the fact of the matter is that you have to make sure that you do things not only as far as the X's and O's, but the optics. We know these guys are media trained, but it's for the optics. Let's keep it a buck. Um, Jada Millwall Wars whispers in here. He says, because you're talking horrible about my team. I mean, look, man, I love this team more than anybody. I'm probably going to Germany next year. I wasn't supposed to release that information. But if they go to Germany next year, I'm probably going to Germany. I have season tickets. I go to away games. I go to community events for this team. I love this team. Fact of the matter is that you got to make sure that, you know, you got to make sure you keep it a buck. They don't need them faking the phone. John Higgins says, "Oh man, I appreciate that, man. Hopefully, I definitely appreciate that, y'all. Thank y'all so much. P's in here. Much love, Pete. Uh, he said we got a Cowboys fan in here. Yeah, but I mean, the fact of the matter is that you got to look at. Pete said, "You talking right? I'm here. You got to look at the optics." ATL hometown Atlanta Falcons says, "Hey, Big Low, they fired Zach. Wow, look at what happened. Last 3 games. I don't think they really fired Zach. I don't think that's the situation. Look, I think everybody in here is in agreement that if they messed around and fired Zach and hired Dirk Cutter, there would be picket signs out there in Flowery Branch. I'm pretty sure everybody will be in agreement." Ghost Pepper says Jimmy Lake was 8-9 as a Falcons DC under Raheem Morris, 48%. Jeff Ulbrich was 4-7 as Falcons DC under Raheem Morris, 36%. But Ghost Peppers, once again, like we got to make sure, that we look at the whole situation. I mean, we remember what that defense looked like. We remember that whenever we did have a semi good game. I mean, I ain't gonna say a semi good game. We played a good game against at that time, Oakland Raiders. We legit blew those guys out. I think we got 3 turnovers and 2 defensive touchdowns. Jacob Tatui Mariner looked like he was the next coming of TJ Watt. And everything was looking. So we had, there were a few instances where we we looked okay, but it was against a bad Raiders team as well. Like let's acknowledge that. But that team was not talented. Let's keep it a buck, bro. That team wasn't talented, especially defensively. Steven Means was our starting defensive end. Take it to Tui Mariner. I can't remember the boy from the Raiders. And the safety from the Patriots. Like I said, that whole period was just dark to me because there were so many guys that were here that I was like, man, they come on, they don't need to be no starting lineup. ATM's in here. Shouts out to my homeboy ATM, man. He says happy birthday, Big Low. What in the world? But much love to you, boy. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Mike Patton Network says I actually like this hire by the Falcons. Okay, I definitely appreciate it. Chase Carvey says, Big Low, what in the world? Shouts out to my homeboy Chase, man. Dirty Fanatics United out there, Baxley, Georgia, doing their thing. Much love to y'all, bro. Hope y'all doing good tonight, man. Hope y'all doing good tonight. But I mean, the reason why I started this conversation and this coaches meeting out with the poll was because I just wanted to know, am I being unreasonable for it to be a situation where, I necessarily don't like the move? Like, because I feel like it's one of those cases where we legitimately need to stop and look at the optics. And I mean, it looks like pretty much everybody's in the grip. Eric Harris, thank you so much, bro. I definitely appreciate that. I could not remember that young man's name for the life of me. Eric Harris, yes. Yes, and Ty Gurley accidentally falling into the end zone to lose games. Yes, I definitely remember that. But yes, the fact of the matter is that I don't like the pickup via the optics. I'm looking at the optics of it. Now, another thing that we have to acknowledge is that a lot of people, okay, Notre Dame just scored. All right, they're gonna at least try to pinch them a little bit. But another thing that we have to acknowledge, a lot of people are saying that, hey, Jeff Ulbrich, him and Robert Saleh, they had a top 3 defense the last 3 years. Him and that Jets defense, they had a top 3 defense. Now, I don't know if any of y'all have heard about that, but the fact of the matter is that that's another one of those situations where I talk about it all the time. Um, it's one of those cases where football is just like life. The circumstances that you're in kind of develop how well you're going to do or how bad you're going to do, right? So Robert Saleh being the guy that was the head coach who was a previous defensive coordinator, having Jeff Ulbrich as his defensive coordinator, I'm assuming that he's going to be in that defensive meeting room. He's going to be, in those meeting rooms, making sure that that defense has a great plan, and making sure that those guys are, ready to go, because that's the identity of his team. Whenever he sit down and he got that job with the Jets and he sit down at his desk for the first time, I'm pretty sure he said, man, we're going to be a hard hitting defense. I mean, I don't know if he used the fast and physical moniker like, your boy Dan Quinn, who's in the NFC Championship. But we're going to be a hard hitting defense. We're going to be resilient. We're going to be aggressive. We're going to play on our toes, not on our heels. We're going to tackle. We're going to tackle well. We're going to swarm. Nobody's going to be jogging to the ball. Everybody's running to the ball full speed. Everybody's going to give us 100% effort, giving me everything that they got. Whenever they play the New York Jets, they're going to feel us. That's probably what he said whenever he came in. So whenever you turned around and, came up and had these great defenses, which is why he got the job for the Jets, because he had great defenses for the 49ers, and he put guys like Huff on the map, and I mean Quentin Williams, he went from this level to this level. And there's a whole bunch of guys he put on the map. I mean, Hassan Reddick, he left, and he went crazy. Oh man, appreciate that, Sean. Much love to you, Bo. And Chase, if you still in the chat on Facebook, my homeboy Corey Carter says I have a street named after me in Baxley, Georgia. There you go. There you go. Look, I hope it ain't Street Plant Hatch, because if that's the case, you a rich man. But the fact of the matter is that if Jeff Ulbrich, if he was a defensive coordinator under Robert Saleh, I mean, you're kind of in a position where your defense is probably going to be pretty good if you're worth your weight in salt. Like, basically, if you could just get to the office on time, your defense should be pretty good. That's like me being one of Gordon Ramsay's sous chefs, and we make the risotto. They ask us to make the risotto and salmon, and I get back there and I make it, and he tells me how to make it the whole time. And I'll put and he'll say, hey, as far as seasoning, you stop when your ancestors tell you to stop. And I'm good to go. I put it out there and I feed it to you. You be like, oh man, this is some good risotto and salmon. Hey, Big Low, you throw down in that kitchen, can't you? I'm like, hey, I'm standing on the shoulders of Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay got me where I'm at. What's going on, Coach Wallace? Hey man, y'all make sure that y'all keep y'all make sure y'all keep Coach Wallace and everybody out there, Chase and everybody out there in South Georgia in your prayers because they're going to be getting a little bit of that snowstorm tomorrow. So y'all make sure that y'all keep them in your prayers. Look, if y'all think Atlanta ain't used to snow, go down there to Southeast Georgia and let them get a half-inch of snow down there. Everything stop and freeze. It ain't no joke. It will, Amy. Yeah, if they get snow they get snow in Savannah, boy. You know something to happen. But yeah, y'all make sure that y'all keep them guys in your prayers, man, because yeah, that snow down there, snow in Southeast Georgia just don't mix. You don't really see too many. You don't see too many snowflakes. You don't see too many snowflakes in the onion field, boy. But fact of the matter is that after Robert Saleh got fired, which I feel like was it to his own detriment. I feel like you could put that on your boy Aaron. I like to eat mushrooms, Rodgers. But after he got fired, what did that defense do? That defense wasn't looking too hot, Bo. Let's keep it a bug. That defense wasn't looking too hot. All right, let's look at. So I tell you what, let's take a look at that defense. Let's take a look at the New York Jets throughout the season and see how many points they gave up every week. Robert Saleh got relieved of his duties on week 5. Am I correct? Coaching staff, y'all let me know. Was it week 5? If y'all could let me know, I would greatly and definitely appreciate it. Chase, he says, Corey Carter, make sure that y'all check him out on YouTube at Dirty Fanatics United. Everybody else is watching, y'all make sure that y'all check my boy Chase out at Dirty Fanatics United. Georgia J says 912 shout. You already know what time it is, baby. We different nowadays. George J said, look, if you ain't sneezing, it ain't season. That's it. If you ain't sneezing, it ain't season, Bo. Yes. Y'all get y'all galoshes out. Yeah. We don't play by that snow, Bo. Deron Harmon. Thank you so much, your boy DZ. I could not remember that young Thundercat name. Deron Harmon. I was like, dang, what's that man's name? I could not remember. Antonio James said, stay at home, Southeast Georgia. They already said they ain't gonna salt. They ain't got no salt for the road. Yeah, man. Look, it ain't gonna be pretty, Bo. It ain't gonna be pretty. My homeboy Crunk Lit Fresh in here. Shout out to my homeboy Stefan, man. Doing that old Crunk Lit Fresh podcast down there. Them boys, they do it big. I need to come down there and spit a dope freestyle for you. That's what I need to do. I spit one earlier. They wouldn't. I spit one earlier. They everybody looking surprised. Oh man, so y'all let me know. I'm thinking it was week 5 when Robert Saleh got relieved of his duties. T. Terry says Gordon Ramsay is the best chef in the world, though, Coach Lowe. Well, look at this right here. Think about it like this, T. Terry. The San Francisco 49ers, was that yesterday or the day before last, said that they would pay Robert Saleh more than any other defensive coordinator in the league. So, based off of economics, they think he's the best defensive coordinator in the world. So we might have a parallel right there, Bo. He might be the best defensive coordinator in the world. Oh man. Okay, so Will Amy said, okay, so it was week 5. Okay. All right. So week 5, it was one of them situations where so let's look at the first 4 weeks. All right, so week 1, and y'all know what I always say about week 1, you can't go off of week 1. Especially if you didn't play your players in the preseason like Raheem Morris. That's a whole nother that's a whole nother thing. In the words of Lisa Shepard, that's a whole nother issue. But week 1 against the San Francisco 49ers, they let 32 points go. 32 points go. Week 2, they won 24-17. They allowed 17 points. And if I'm not mistaken, I think there was a pick 6 thrown in that game. Now, y'all let me know if I'm wrong. Week 3 against the New England Patriots, everybody pretty much shut New England out. And wait a minute, we got to also acknowledge that was a Thursday night game. Those Thursday night games be terrible. I mean, let's keep it a buck. It's a Thursday night game, early in early in the season with a terrible offense. I don't even, but they did just give up 3 points that week. Next week against the Denver Broncos, that was the week. They gave up 10 points that week. Now, Denver Broncos, it took a while for them to get it put together. Oh, I'm sorry, Body Bagel. So week 2, the Tennessee Titans, they played the Tennessee Titans and they gave up 17 points. Week 3, for Thursday night football, they played the New England Patriots and gave up 3 points. My apologies. Coach Ron tell me I do that all the time. I don't give the details. My apologies. Week 4, they played the Denver Broncos. They gave up 10 points. So, I mean, you looking okay as far as defensively. All right, week 5, they played Minnesota, gave up 23 points. That's when Sam Darnold started catching fire. Yeah, people were like, okay, Sam Darnold, you all right. This ain't no fluke. People started to add Sam Darnold to their fantasy team by then. All right, so after week 5, Robert Saleh's gone. So week 6, they played Buffalo. They held Buffalo to 23 points. That ain't bad. Divisional game, you know that game's going to be a little bit tougher. They played Pittsburgh. They gave up 37 points to Pittsburgh. Golly. Week 8, they played the Patriots again. They gave up 25 points to the Patriots. That bad Patriots offense. Week 9, they won against Houston. They only held Houston to 13 points. Then they turned around and played Arizona. Gave up 31 points. Daggone. Then they played the Indianapolis Colts. Gave up 28 points. Had a bye week. Played the Seattle Seahawks. We can't say nothing about getting burned by the Seattle Seahawks. They gave up 26 points to the Seahawks. They played Miami, and Miami's offense was struggling this year. Gave up 32 points. Then they played the Rams, gave up 19 points. They played the Buffalo Bills again. 40 burger, gave up 40 points. And then they played Miami for the last time whenever Tyreek Hill pretty much quit and gave up 20 points. So that's there's a lot of high 20s, 30s, and a 40 in there. I don't know, and that could be a little bit of anything. That could be one of those situations where, I mean, maybe the team kind of gave up after they fired the coach. Maybe they didn't like Aaron Rodgers like Coach Roney. It could be anything. But I know one thing that it can't be. It can't be because y'all didn't hit the like button. I need y'all to make sure that y'all hit that like button. And look, if you didn't like the pick of getting Robert Saleh, you can hit that like button. If you did like the pick, you can hit that like button. If you're indifferent, you kind of in the middle. It's not a 1 or a 3. You're like 2. You need a way to express it. Hit that like button. You hit that like button for me, I promise you, I'll dance at your wedding one day. But it's looking like it's one of those situations where maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was the collaboration of Jeff Ulbrich and Robert Saleh, because I don't want to sit here and minimize what Robert Saleh's done. I'm sorry, or what Jeff Ulbrich's done. I never want to minimize that. It could be one of those cases where it's the legitimate collaboration. Like sometimes some people sound better together than others. I mean, I sound better singing without Uncle Steve than I do singing with Uncle Steve. Shouts out Uncle Steve, man. Still the nut says, bruh, Jets offense went three and out 500 times. Daggone, that's tough right there. Man, they went 3 and out 500 times. That's crazy. ATL hometown Atlanta Falcons says, happy birthday, dog. If I was with you and we would have an if and be drunk. Look here, Bo. We ain't gonna just have one if. We're gonna have a lot of if. If were a fifth, we all be drunk, Bo. Oh man. Much love to you, man. Hey, y'all, I appreciate y'all showing the old country boy some love, man. Much love to y'all for coming on and chilling out with us. Because it's looking like that national championship game gonna be pretty much over with. Bobby says he hates OSU. Oh man. Oh man. So moving forward, the fact of the matter is, okay, and so Coach Wallace, he said, still at the end of the day, if we don't get some better talent added to what we already have, it doesn't matter who the DC would have been. I mean, and I definitely understand that. I feel like you have better talent now than you did before in 2020, whenever Jeff Ulbrich uh, had his run as the defensive coordinator. I definitely feel like that. But the fact of the matter is that, and I keep going back to my point. You have to have a different perspective. You have to have a different perspective. If you want to create something that's great, if you want to create something that's forward thinking, if you want to create something to offset what an opposing team's offense is going to do, especially if you're a coach like Raheem Morris that's been in the league for 20 years. I mean, I don't know if it's 20 years, but he's been in the league for a long time. As a head coach, as a coordinator, as a positions coach, everybody knows everyone else. Everyone knows what every look. If you play basketball with your set of homeboys over and over and over again, you know that he's a pump faker. So whenever he gets down there, you're gonna let him do his little pump fake. And then whenever he goes up with it, you finna get some Windex and a paper towel. You finna wipe it off the glass. That's what you gonna do. At the end of the day, the question is Raheem Morris forward thinking? Because it's looking like it's one of those cases where he doesn't want to change. If you look back at this past season, and whenever we blew the lead for the NFC South, what was the issue, guys? I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Lisa Shepard. What was the issue, guys? Raheem Morris didn't want to change. He didn't want to be forward thinking. He didn't want to say, hey, I want to throw a new wrinkle in there and give them a new look that they never. What did Frank Ocean say? A brand new feel. We ain't give them a brand new feel, Bo. We ain't give them something different that they ain't never seen us do before. That's what I was hoping we would do with this new hire. But it feels like you just kind of want to go into doing what you've always done, and because you just think that your scheme and you think that your system is head and shoulders superior to everybody else's. I mean, and I say it like that because I just might be thinking that I might just be kind of maybe I'm out of the box. Maybe I'm just not understanding what's going on. But if you don't want to do something different, you can't do something different. Am I wrong? Bobby says, Coach Lowe, insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result. And then OMT said, wait a minute now. They didn't say that ain't insanity. OMT says insanity is a state of being seriously or mentally ill madness. He suffered from bouts of insanity. Yeah, I mean, are there any other definitions? OMT. I mean, but the fact of the matter is, it doesn't necessarily. We don't have to call it insanity. We could just call it stubbornness. We right? We could call it stubbornness. You want to run cover three shell, and you want to bring in a guy who runs cover three shell, and it's not just some random guy that you've never worked with before, or you never met before. It's somebody who you not only know, he was on your coaching staff. So that's not a good look, because the fact of the matter is, guys, and y'all let me know if I'm wrong. If we come out next year and we go 2-4, if we go 2-5, you kind of have no choice. Am I wrong? And I don't even have to say it. Y'all can finish the sentence for me. If you come out next year and you start off 2-5, you start off 2-4, you kind of have no choice. Y'all, like I said, y'all finish it. You kind of have no choice to what. Y'all, I ain't even gonna put it out there to the universe, but you kind of have no choice. Rick Smith says, I'm good with it until they show me otherwise. Look, I mean, shoot, we ain't got no choice but to be good with it. We ain't got no choice but to be good with it, Rick. Oh, man. Look at here. At the end of the day, I'm pretty sure everybody in here who's Atlanta Falcons fans, y'all gonna be supporting the squad, right? Like y'all are gonna be in here, y'all gonna be riding, y'all gonna be here, y'all gonna be here riding with riding with the squad and hoping that we could pull this win. Well, Fiji says Tremel bring some attitude to corporate America and see if it works. Well, well, I'm gonna tell you something. I work in corporate America. As you can only imagine, I bring my share of attitude. It's all about how you do it. It's all about how you do it. Body Bagum says we lost games because we didn't have a quarterback. That was the biggest issue for the last few years. That's solved. All they need to do is put the puzzle pieces together, and this is a playoff team. And you know what? I legitimately think you could be right in that regard. I feel like and the crazy thing is about Body Bagum. That's even going back to last year. If you go back to last year, whenever Kirk Cousins was on that slide, I mean, it was rough. Kirk Cousins, he was driving the struggle bus. He wasn't just on it. But it was one of those cases where the quarterback, unfortunately, the $100 million guaranteed quarterback, in the words of Lisa Shepard, was the issue. That was the issue, guys. So, and shouts out to Uncle Steve. Y'all make sure y'all check out Uncle Steve's Lounge. He made great points today. And one of the most impactful points that he made to me was this doesn't have to be a top five defense. It doesn't. This doesn't have to be a top five defense. We do not have to be the 2000 Baltimore Ravens. We do not have to be the 85 Bears. Right? We do not have to be the 2024 Toombs County Bulldogs. We don't have to be a team that's just so dominant defensively to win a championship, because just like Tremel and a lot of other people put in here, you got a quarterback now. You got a young Thundercat back there who, I mean, even though we're watching Jaden Daniels go on this magical run and go to this NFC championship game, you got a quarterback who a lot of the pundits say he's a better quarterback than Jaden Daniels. He throws the ball better than Jaden Daniels. He reads the defense better than Jaden Daniels. So, fact of the matter is, it's not one of them situations where you have to be gangbusters on defense. No, you don't have to do that. But whenever you have a game like those Detroit Lions had last night or yesterday, whenever you have a game like that, you have Jaden Daniels running up and down the field and throwing the ball all over you, you score, and then they come back and score again because it's just their day. Are you going to be able to stop them? Whenever it's the playoffs and you don't have to, and it's a situation where that quarterback's just on fire, that offensive line is holding up. You got running backs and wide receivers and tight ends breaking tackles. How are you going to stop them? Because it can't be one of those cases where you just have to say, all right, we're going to get pressure on the quarterback. What were we saying all off season? Create hot balls. Y'all get your minds out the gutter. We're creating hot balls, and we're going to try to force tips and overthrows to get some interceptions, because we're going to be running that umbrella soft cover three shell, and everybody's watching the quarterback. In some cases, that's just not going to work. That offense on the other side, if they're clicking, that quarterback's making good decisions. If he's throwing underneath, they're breaking tackles. We just can't tackle that day. It's not going to work. What are you going to do? because the game will get away from you, just like it got away from those Detroit Lions yesterday. If we're trying to win Super Bowls, if we're trying to win championships, you have to have an open mind. Nick Saban, Nick Saban uh, had the NFL six symbol, and Jalen Hurts back there playing quarterback against our Georgia Bulldogs. What happened? Your boy wasn't doing what he needed to do. Throw in Tua. That was a ballsy move. You got to have an open mind. You have to be forward thinking, because if not, that stubbornness, it'll get you sitting on the sideline. It'll have you sitting on the couch with everyone else. Coach Wallace says, I think we need to see how this plays out with Ulbrich, because he's here now and he has more experience than he did back in 2019. And I completely agree with you. And as a matter of fact, somebody in the chat, they asked what kind of defense is Ulbrich going to be? Is Ulbrich going to be running? Now, as far as 3-4 or 4-3, Ulbrich, he got a lot of experience last year running that 4-3 defense. But we know that Raheem likes to predominantly run that cover 3 shell with that 3-4, like a 3-3-5 kind of look. Or he even likes to go on those sub packages with 2 linemen and 2 linebackers just rushing the passer. I think that's really, really good experience to have Ulbrich in here, because he really knows how to manipulate the rushing lanes, running 3-4 and running 4-3. That's really good, Coach Wallace. And look, I'm the first on board to say, hey, yeah, we gotta ride this out and see how it goes. I don't want this show to sit here. I don't want this show to be a situation where everyone's thinking, hey, Big Low doesn't like this move. Jeff Ulbrich sucks. No, I'm never saying that. First of all, if you're a coach in the NFL, I don't care what coach it is, head coach, coordinator, position coach, quality analyst, you're a good coach. If you're any type of coach in the NFL, you are a good coach. So I'm never saying that Jeff Ulbrich isn't a good coach. I'm never saying that. I'm never saying that he's not good at what he does, because I'm sure he's grown a lot since 2020. And I'm sure he's learned a lot from Robert Saleh. He's probably evolved. I'm sure that is legitimately the case. All I'm saying is that when it comes to the optics of it, when it comes to bringing back another coach, is it a situation where is it a good look? I mean that's all I'm saying. Look, it was obvious that Raheem Morris turned around and fired Jimmy Lake because he had to. He didn't want to do it. I mean, let's keep it a buck. He waited a week after everybody else got fired, and then he finally fired Jimmy Lake. If it was up to Raheem Morris, he would have kept Jimmy Lake here. I mean that's completely obvious. So I mean, moving forward, turning around and bringing in another one of your homeboys. Shouts out to Pastor Troy. We was homeboys. Bringing in another one of your homeboys to run your defense whenever you brought in your homeboy last year, whenever you finally get a second chance at a head coaching job, and it wasn't, it looked terrible. You were last in the league in so many statistics. It looked bad. So you want to bring in a homeboy again? I'm just saying it's just. I mean, it just don't look good. Now, will it work? I feel like it's a really good possibility that it could work. Just like Coach Wallace said, he could have learned a whole lot from Robert Saleh these last 3 years, right? He could have been a huge student of the game, and he could be that forward-thinking piece that the Atlanta Falcons could bring in to help get this defense to the next level. Because just like Uncle Steve said, we don't need a top 5 defense. If you get me in the top 15, we in there like swimwear. Get your dancing shoes on. We ready to go, lock and load. But if it's one of those situations where you're doing the same things that you did last year because you just felt like it wasn't working because of the players, and you get rid of a lot of different players and you bring in new guys, it's not going to work. That's all I'm saying. It's not going to work. T. Terry says Jimmy Lake is a twin. He was sending in his brother to. Oh man. Terrell says, but Lo, who actually wanted the job? I mean, look, look, that's a good question. I didn't even think about it from that perspective. I mean, first of all, if I was a coach and a defense coordinator job popped up where you had the best safety in the league, you have a top 10 cornerback, you got, you know, some older vets like a Grady Jarrett, you got a young, very athletic linebacker whenever he's healthy, and Troy Anderson. You got Justin Simmons, hopefully, or Matthew Judon, hopefully. If I'm looking at that, I'm like, okay, and it's in Atlanta. Like half these guys live in Atlanta during the off season anyway. So if I'm looking at the situation, everybody talk about how everybody loves to work with Raheem Morris. I'm like, well, shoot, let me go on down to Atlanta. And also, it's a situation where the defense has been historically bad. I'm just looking at this from a coach's perspective. The defense has been historically bad. So what does that mean? If I come in and I turn this defense around, I'm getting broke off. Right? One or two things can happen if I come around and turn this defense around. One, I'm getting broke off and I'm going to get offered the head coaching jobs, or I'm going to get offered in the NFL, or I'm going to get offered a different DC job in the NFL that makes a lot more money. Two, I could go to college where I could legitimately run the show down there. It didn't even have to be a Power 5 school. I could go to doggone Ball State, make three mil, and be good. Or I could go get a DC job in college where they pay sometimes, well, I'm gonna say a lot of times more than they pay in the NFL. Bo, position coaches in college get paid once a $1 million, 1.5, $2 million. Position coaches, defensive backs coaches get $1.5 million in college. If it was me, yes, I would definitely take the DC job in Atlanta, especially if I turn it around. And if I don't turn it around, I can still go to college. What's Brian Van Gore doing right now? I bet you he's still a millionaire. Dre Harrison says, for me, there is still a light at the end of the tunnel. Who will the defensive line coach be? I expect Ulbrich to swipe someone from the Jet staff. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Shouts out to you, Dre. I mean, I heard that they were talking about getting that defensive line coach from the Jets. I forgot the guy's name. But I mean, look, if they turn around and swipe them, I would not be mad at it. I mean, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Y'all know who I want. I said this initially. Someone called up to Baltimore. Someone called that 443 area code. Someone tell Chuck Smith to come on home. Someone tell Chuck Smith to bring it on back home. That's who I want. Go ahead and call Chuck Smith to come bring it on. Look, Dr. Pass Rush, come on back. Come on back to the A. We'll make sure that we'll make sure that you're taken care of. You'll be clothed, well fed. You'll have all the vouchers to Cheetah Lounge that you want. You don't like Cheetah Lounge? Blue Flame, here we come. It is what it is. Oh man, yeah, exactly. We got to offer him the bag. We got to pay the man. Bring him home, because all those years where y'all disrespected him, y'all act like y'all were too good to bring him in. Bring him on home. Body Bagel said, man, the Ravens choke too much for me. Man, look. Fact of the matter is, once again, we don't got to be top 5. Just got to be better than we've been. If we can be better than we been, we good to go. In there like swimwear. Hey, neat. Oh man. Um, let's see. Coach Wallace says, I know that they were interviewing the assistant D line coach Nate Ollie from the Texans. That was with Ubrich in 2021. I heard about that earlier today. Yeah, I mean, shoot. Yeah, I'd be more than happy to get Ollie. You seen how that defensive line been looking? I definitely take that. Jay said that ain't on defense. So what you talk about Chuck Smith? I know he's an outside linebacker coach, but look, if you can move up from outside linebacker to coaching the whole D line, especially if it's a situation where we need to focus on getting pressure on the quarterback. I'm more than happy with that. I mean, because one thing about Chuck Smith, he rushed the passer real good, but Chuck Smith played that run pretty doggone good too, Bo. I'd be more than happy to bring Chuck Smith in here all day, all day. AD says top 12 offense, top 20 defense. Look, I'm more than happy with it. Padre here says, "Oh, what's going on, Lo? What I missed, man? I was in here talking about. We was in here talking about the whole Jeff Ulbrich hire, and I was saying that I feel like it's not good for optics. I feel like going back and hiring a guy that was with you back in 2020, whenever you didn't retain the job, is not a good look. I feel like we're trying to relive 2016, and there were things in 2016 I wasn't doing, or things that I was doing in 2016 that I'm not doing now. I shoot in the game of in the game to 12 in LA Fitness. Shoot, I get you 5 buckets easy. Shoot, thank Lord, get down there banging. Slap the backboard for some layup because I wasn't dunking flat footed, but I slapped the backboard. I slapped the backboard with the best of them. I was doing all that in 2016. Now you can find me at Legacy Links on Sundays. You can find me at the College Park Golf Club, right? you can find me at Marietta City Club on Sundays. I'm not doing the same thing I used to do back in the day, Bo. Oh man, yeah, I like Chuck Smith. Bring Chuck Smith in. Um, Waddle says, and the defensive line coach from the Jets, Eric White Cotton. Yeah, that's another name. Yeah, man, that's what it's looking like. It's looking like the 2020 revenge tour. Look. How often does it work? Let's keep it a buck. Let's keep it a buck. How often does it work, guys? I'm just asking. How often do How often does something work? In this case, it didn't work the first time. How often does something work, and then you come back for the reunion tour or for the revenge tour, and then the second time it works, even if there's a whole bunch of buzz and everybody's like, "Oh man, I can't wait for this." How often does it work? Let's keep that a buck now. Let me ask y'all that question. When did that ever work? You got a Michael Jackson, you got a Jackson 5, what was it, the Victory Tour? Our guys came, our people came here beaten down, beaten up, but this here is a victory. Was that reunion tour? Was that like a success or no? It was terrible. It was terrible for the last 20 years. Ever since the 99 to the 2000, everybody been like, man, we really like to see the Hot Boys get back together. We really like to see the Hot Boys, have a reunion. Hot Boys had a reunion last year. How was it? It was terrible. It was terrible. Half of them out there half drunk, half high. It's the hot boys on fire. How often has that been a success? It very seldom. So, I mean, moving forward, you're trying to go back to something in 2020 that didn't work. You didn't get the job. And it's like I understand you want to prove everybody wrong. But the fact of the matter is that you have to give other people a shot. And everybody keeps saying, they're like, well, why did they even interview all these other guys if he already knew who he wanted? Because he knew who he wanted. I mean, let's keep it a bug. Like, he knew who he wanted. The Rooney Rule. You have to interview a certain amount of guys. The Rooney Rule. Let's see here. Wallace says, but Coach Lowe in 2016, we had a few rookies on our defense when Ulbrich was with us, and the defense was ranked in the top 10 in 2017. Also, Ulbrich was the linebackers coach, right? Whenever all that was going on, I'm talking about when Ulbrich was a DC, because that was Marquand Manuel's defense, right? And all them young Thundercat rookies, they came in and they did really good. You know, the Brian Pools, the Devondre Campbells, the Deion Jones, and uh, uh, Keanu Neal. Grady Jarrett was a second-year player. Vic Beasley was a second-year player. But that was, that was somebody else's defense. And kudos to Coach Ubrich for helping those linebackers look good, because the Foyer Aluakans, he went to Jacksonville and he balled out for years. Deion Jones, we banked our future on him. Devondre Campbell, he went to the Packers, he balled out for years. So, I mean, look, even though he kind of quit on the 49ers, that might be your linebacker next year. But fact of the matter is that, he brought them guys together. Padre said, hey, Big Low, I'm out on what looks like Raheem lame duck season. Prepare for another 8-win season. Hello, I hang up and listen. Da da da. That's a Superman chat. Look here. Whether or not if whether or not it's the same amount of wins, I bet you the price of them season tickets went up. I bet you the price of them season tickets went up, Padre. They a lot more expensive too. Dan Quinn says, Dan Quinn can coach better than Raheem Morris? I mean, I don't know. Like, we still giving Raheem Morris a chance, so we can't just go off and set those type of declarations. Oh man, Terrell said next season, Terry F. If y'all fall on your face, banned from the city. Daggone, man. So was it really 00544? Look at here. I've been telling y'all something. This draft that we're finna embark on, this draft is huge. You got 5 picks. This draft is huge. Because it was initially 4, but I think we're getting another one from the Taylor Heineke trade. It's gonna be a 6 or a 7 pick. This draft is huge, guys. This is Terry Fontenot's career in Atlanta right here. Is gonna be banked on trading down, and getting impactful players on the defense. I mean, that's pretty much what it is. I mean, that's been the talk. That's been the talk of this offseason so far. And offseason just started. We ain't even got to the Super Bowl yet. But you got to get some impactful players on this defense. I'll be honest with you. You need a cornerback. Your lack of getting a cornerback last year because you believed in your scheme, it was legitimately the same thing that Arthur Smith did, except reverse. You felt like you didn't have to get a cornerback because your scheme was so fireproof, and then your scheme failed you. You got to get you a cornerback. You got to get another pass rusher. You probably need a linebacker. I don't know if Nate Lamb is going to be coming back. So look, it's just like Tremel said, putting pressure on the organization. Pressure can bust pipes or it can create diamonds. Pressure can bust pipe or it can create diamonds. Ghost Pepper says Falcons are interviewed Texas assistant D-line Nate Ollie. Their vacant D-line job. Source says Ollie, who has worked alongside a DC Jeff Ulbrich with the Jets in 2021. Yeah. Coach Wallace was just talking about it. Dre Harrison said, yeah, you probably gonna need a safety too. So look, at the end of the day, you got to figure out what you're gonna do with guys like Matthew Judon, with guys like Justin Simmons. You got to figure it out. Nate Lamb. What are you going to do? How can you make this defense look better? How is this defense going to be more adaptable? right? I mean, because I mean the linebacker position struggled so much, but you also put those linebackers in some terrible situations. Terrible situations. Jay says, we lost a draft pick for Judon and another pick lost for tampering. Judon and Simmons are potential free agents. Yeah, I mean, so that's the question. Are you going to bring those guys back? Or are you going to go ahead and let them go and see if you can find young Thundercats who, oh, excuse me, see if you can find young Thundercats who are better. That's the question. That's the question. Will says D Alford got toasted. D Alford got toasted, but he made a few plays too. He made some plays. He made some. I mean, look, if you look at the situation once again, the scheme that they put those guys in, they didn't put those guys in favorable situations, man. I hate to say it. Wallace Smith says, Coach Lowe, we have a first, a second, a fourth, and 2 7th-round picks. Okay, gotcha. So I mean, look, I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm trading down. I'm trading that first pick. I'm trading down. Whenever we do, and look here, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe because during this off season, we're going to be doing some thorough looks into what we should do as far as the draft, free agency, salary cap, and things like that. Y'all know we're going to be doing our mock drafts. Our mock drafts go crazy. Our mock drafts go crazy. I know we're going to be doing the mock drafts. We're going to be having a good time with it. Dre says we need to keep one of the other, Judon or Simmons. I really I like both of them, man. I feel like Judon could have got 10 sacks in a better defense. I feel like that's why he was so upset at the end of the season. Fact of the matter is that the way that he was acting, the fact that he declined to talk to any of the media at the end of the season, I feel like he might be gone. But if you don't want to be here, don't be here, right? Oh shoot, this game getting kind of interesting. Riley Leonard just threw a touchdown. Man, shoot. Go ahead and check these boys out. Watch the end of this game. Look at here, man. I need y'all to make sure that y'all stay safe. If you're watching this show after we go live already, make sure you put a what in the world bowl in the comments. Y'all let me know whether or not you feel like we should keep. I apologize. Y'all tell me whether or not we made a good move in getting Jeff Ulbrich. Um, Look, I'm hoping that we get nothing but the best for him, or nothing but the best from him. I feel like he could be a really, really good defensive coordinator. Just like Coach Wallace mentioned, he's learned a whole bunch. Hopefully from Robert Sala, and he's going to have more weapons, guys. He's going to have a more talented defense than they had the first time him and Raheem Morris were here. So, look, we sit here talking about how we just need a top 20 defense. They could be a top 10 defense. They could be a top 10 defense and put us in the type of situation where we're like, hey, you know, whoever next, whoever want it, we they can get it, bro. We ready to go. Lock and load. We could be the Detroit Lions of last year, except hopefully we could go ahead and win the whole thing. Rick Smith said we made a good move. Well, look, man, that's what it's all about. It's all about the coaches meetings. It's all about everybody coming in, giving their opinions, and making everybody feel better about what happened. Because I know a lot of people were upset about it, but what we're going to do is we're going to talk through it. We're going to talk through it and see, you know, we're going to look at the positives in the situation, right? And I'm definitely hoping for a lot of positives. Look here, man. I need y'all to stay safe. Please don't do anything that I would do. In the meantime, look, for everybody that's going to be getting these winter storms across the country, y'all make sure that y'all stay warm, man. If you have a fireplace, make sure that you load up on some wood. Make sure you get you some food. Because yeah, they say it can be crazy. These power lines and everything go down. You need to make sure that you have a way to feed yourself. Make sure that you got a way to keep yourself warm. Please don't do anything that I would do. And look here, man. I need y'all to stay safe, bro. What in the world?